And what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Will Johnson. Thank you so much. Do me a favor. For everyone who's watching on Facebook, please go ahead and type in !notify. Can you put it up on the screen for me there? !notify is one word, all one word, !notify. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up and the share button for me. Same thing on Rumble. All right, let's get right into it because we have a lot to talk about this evening and so much is going on. If you ask me personally, we need to start referring to him as Judas, as Judas Pence. Judas Pence. I've seen other people out there talking about him, Judas Pence, right? But before we get to talking about Judas Pence, I have something else I want to share with you. And this is something that I share on my LFA broadcast as well. So for those of you that were watching on my LFA broadcast, thank you so much for coming over and watching me here. I'm going to share some of the I'm going to share some of the stuff here and some of the stuff you didn't see over there. I like to kind of, mix it up a little bit. But let me get to this first one. Now, Tucker talked to Devin Archer. Devin Archer is the same guy that went into the private meeting with Congress to have this hearing. They subpoenaed him. He went in and he told them X, Y, and Z. Immediately when it was over, the Democrat representative Goldman ran out to the cameras to straight up lie to everybody. And in this video, it absolutely proves that the Democrat representative Goldman literally lied to the American people. And they do this to get ahead of the truth. Now, I was asking this question as well. What information was relayed in that hearing that we didn't hear about would cause them to go to impeach President Trump the next day? But this has been repeating. They've been doing this. Indict President Trump the next day. I mean, the impeachment, 2 impeachments, indictment, 3 indictments, 4 indictments, 5 indictments. They're trying to do everything they can, right? What was said in there? But it's not even a matter of what was said, because apparently it didn't go the way the Democrats are trying to convince everybody. Because every single time they bring out all this dirt about the Biden crime family, guess what happens? Another indictment. Every single time. It's a pattern. Every single time. The dirt on Biden, next day indictment. Dirt on Hunter Biden, next day indictment. Biden crime family, next day indictment. Listen to this, because this proves that Goldman ran out to the cameras and lied to the American people. He is the Adam Schiff of this episode. Goldman, listen.
Been reported, and I know that it is true, that the Hunter and his brother were very close to their dad.
Absolutely.
Which I think is great.
Yep.
I've got a lot of kids. I'm very close to them, talk to them every day.
Yeah.
Never called them on speaker during a business meeting. That's weird. You've got a lot of kids. You're close to them. Do you call them on speaker during business meetings?
Do I call?
I mean, what is that? A grown man calling his dad on a speakerphone during a business meeting?
Right. And to be clear, sometimes it was the call was coming in and the speaker would go on. So it's just the president. You have to be, I mean, you understand DC, right? So the power to have that access in that conversation, and it's not in a scheduled conference call, and it's a part of your family. That's like the pinnacle of power.
It's the pinnacle of power. And you know what? A lot of them been doing that. Wasn't there a case with Mitt Romney in Ukraine? Wasn't there a case with Mitt Romney and other family members, Mitch McConnell even, Lindsey Graham, Ukraine? They all have ties to Ukraine one way or another. Complete corruption. That's reason why. And let me ask this question, because I asked this question earlier too when I was live on LFA. Has there been any predominant Republicans that come out and speak against this last indictment? I'm talking about other than like Ramaswamy. Now he's been every single time they've done this to President Trump. He's been like one of the first ones to come out there and say, this is completely wrong. It's a banana republic. But I'm talking about, where's Mitch McConnell at? Has Mitch McConnell said anything about this? He knows, they all know that it's wrong, but has he said anything? Same thing with Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham would every now and then he'll run out there and jump on the Trump bandwagon trying to make it look like he's supporting Trump. But where's he at? Has he said anything? I haven't seen anything. That's the reason why I'm asking. Maybe it's happened. Have they gone on the news networks and said this last one, this should draw the line. This should be this. They've already crossed the line in the sand. But this one, they've gone too far. None of them are saying that. It's like they're all silent, eerie. It's almost like they're happy that this is going to get Trump. Like they're going to get him. They're going to get him. Yes, yes, yes. Even Mike Pence. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Listen to the rest of this about Goldman.
What do you say?
100%. I guess I'm pivoting against the lie that I'm hearing people tell with a straight face. Congressman Goldman, for example, that we don't really know what was going on. Really? You're taking a call from the vice president and you put it on speaker. It's not just, hey, Dad, I'm in a meeting with some buddies.
Right.
It's let me put my dad, the vice president, on speaker.
Yeah. Yep. In the rear view, it's an abuse of soft power, I'd say.
An abuse of soft power.
It's an abuse of soft power. Wow. Again, so Goldman ran out there in front of the cameras. Oh, they just talked about the weather. They didn't talk about anything, nothing business-wise. They didn't do any of that. They only talked about the weather, people. This was a whole waste of time. Well, Devin Archer goes on with Tucker. Did he lie to Congress? Did he literally lie to Congress, or did he tell Congress the truth and Goldman came out and lied to the American people? Which one do you think it is? Which one do you think it is? He lied to Tucker or he lied to Congress? Which one is it? Or did he tell the truth to Tucker? And I'm talking about Devin Archer, and he told the truth to Congress, and Goldman lied to the American people. Who lied? Devin Archer or Goldman? Who lied? Which one of y'all think lied about that? If you ask me, and I know that you are, and thank you for asking, it was 100% Goldman. Why would he go on Tucker and say something completely different than what he said in the private hearing with Congress? Don't you know they'll put him in jail for that? Won't they put him in jail for that? He goes on Tucker, then says something completely different than what he said in the private hearing setting.
Well, he most definitely can't lie in front of Congress.
We have evidence that we're bringing forward.
I mean, so what's to stop him from? I mean, so is he basically? Are you suggesting that he probably did lie on Tucker to tell Tucker what Tucker wanted to hear?
No, I mean, I think he's telling the truth. I mean, at this point, I don't think he has anything to lose. The guy's already going to jail for a year, and it sounds like. I mean, I know they were saying that he was like Hunter's best friend and stuff, but he sounds like he definitely was saying that Biden had played a huge part in Hunter's business dealings. And that's, even when we listen to him talk on Hunter, he's not saying it. I mean, he is saying it, but he doesn't say it in those words, right?
I mean,
I'm sure he did the same thing to Congress.
I mean, come on, it's completely obvious. Yeah. Everyone knows it. Even the Democrats, they know exactly what took place here. And the Democrats are, they're deflecting. And Goldman 100% lied. Goldman 100% lied. They were just talking about the weather, people. They were only talking about the weather.
I don't even think that'll show up in the transcripts. That was part of the conversation. But that's what they do. They change the narrative. They get ahead of it before it comes out. So that's the first thing that hits the waves and everybody hears it, and they do it on purpose. Yeah. Raskin did it, with the whistleblowers in the IRS when they went in the SCIF to read those papers. He came out, told a total lie. Comer and them were saying he's being, disingenuous. It's not true. And the question is, Will, and you've said it many, many times, how do they get away with this?
Yeah, how do they get away with it?
Lying to the American people. They're working for us. And they're lying to us.
Well, listen to this, because Devin Archer, he really does have the goods on Hunter Biden, the Biden crime family. He has the goods. He even said in that interview that he sat in a lot of these meetings. He said over 20 of them where Joe Biden was on the phone with him. He was in there, right? Over 20 times. And he in the interview that I heard him, he didn't talk about weather. He didn't talk about the weather. Tucker Carlson even brought up, he said, you have children. Tucker said, I have children. He says, not a single time have I ever been in a business meeting and I had my children on the phone. Never before. And I said, does it sound right to you that a grown man is in the business deal and daddy, I'm in the business phone call right now. Listen, daddy. Who does that? The grown man. Handle your own business. But see, Hunter Biden, he used Joe Biden, and Joe Biden is fully aware of what took place. Listen to this.
We have evidence that we're bringing forward. The American people deserve answers. We're being stonewalled. This guy's sitting in the White House selling access to countries that don't like the United States. And mind you, all of the Democrats that accused Republicans of being Russia collusion sympathizers, you have the president's son working with Russian oligarchs, personally enriching their families, and yet we're just supposed to sit here and be quiet. I'm done, Jesse. I want this guy to be impeached. I've seen enough.
Thank you. Finally, there's a Republican. Here's one. Someone speaking out. But she's still, I guess she would still be considered a freshman, correct? Right? She's still a freshman Republican, or I guess they would call it a junior congresswoman, right? Because she's fairly new. But what about the ones that made a career out of it? I haven't heard them say anything, and I'm still waiting for them to say something. Well, let's get to the meat of tonight's broadcast. Mike Pence, this dude, major problem. He is the reason they have evidence against President Donald J. Trump. People go, what? Mike Pence? What? No, we'll get out of here. Mike Pence wouldn't do that. Mike Pence is a true Christian. Yeah, right. Have y'all heard some of the horror stories about Mike Pence? And more of it's coming out. Well, look at this. Make it full screen for me. Look at this. This is Mike Pence. And y'all know who Simon Atiba is? He's the one that not Jen Psaki, but Karine Jean-Pierre had removed from the press corps because he was asking tough questions and she would never call on him. But listen to this. Special counsel Jack Beep Smith, y'all know what the beep is, right? Jack Beep. Indictment has revealed that Mike Judas Pence took secret notes from a conversation with President Donald Trump before the Capitol protests. These previously unreported notes are now presented as evidence in the 4 federal charges against Trump, including conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and obstruct of an official proceeding. Mike Pence, the Judas Pence. This dude stabbed not only President Trump in the back, but he stabbed the American people in the back. You understand that? This dude is the reason why, he's part of the reason why the country's in the predicament that it's in right now. Because he had constitutional authority to do certain things. He had constitutional authority. And you know what? A lot of people kept saying, and even him, he even came out and said, I had no constitutional authority. That is a bald-faced lie because Nancy Pelosi, the other House Democrats, they all passed a law that the vice president would not be able to do anything when it comes to these proceedings. Y'all know what I'm talking about? They would not be able to do anything. So why in the world would they have to go through that whole process of preventing a VP from being able to do anything if Mike Pence never had the authority to begin with? Because he did. He lied. Let me ask y'all a question and put it in the comments. Do you think this is the end of Mike Pence's political career? Yes or no? And see, Mike Pence, I believe he understands that he's done. So he feels that, well, if I'm going to be done, I'm going to take President Trump out with me. I don't ever recall, and I've asked this question multiple times too. Has there ever been a VP, a person who used to be a VP, go against the president that they were the VP for? Has this ever happened? In history, has this ever happened? What we're seeing right now, them plunging us into a banana republic, that we've never been on this point. And soon it will be too late. Soon it will be too late. It's not too late as of yet. It's not too late yet. But soon it will be too late if we, the American people, don't step up. And see, they're trying to get all the public opinion right now because they don't want anyone to support President Trump. And they're doing everything they're doing because you have these rhino Republicans out there, like Mike Pence being one of them, trying to convince everybody that President Trump is not the one that you need to go with. He's the one that you don't need to support. They're going after President Trump over free speech because he questioned the process. He questioned it. So now they're going after him. They're calling that criminal activity. And I'm going to have to go over to exclusive Rumble tonight because there's some stuff that I want to share with you that I can't share with you here, because if I was to say the opposite, it would be completely fine with the big tech companies. But for when it comes to what I want to share with you, I can't share it on Facebook and YouTube because they won't allow certain free speech, right? They're against free speech. They're against you knowing the truth. Let me play this one for you. Listen to this one. This is Mike Pence going on Fox News trying to justify him stabbing the American people in the back.
I was clear on that throughout. I was clear with President Trump throughout, all the way up to the morning of January 6th. But let's be clear on this point. It wasn't just that they asked for a pause. The president specifically asked me, and his gaggle of crackpot lawyers asked me to literally.
Did you hear that part right there? You hear what he said about President Trump's lawyers? Listen to it again. This is your Mike Pence. How many of y'all supporting Mike Pence? Listen to this.
Gaggle of crackpot lawyers asked me to literally reject votes, which would have resulted in the issue being turned over to the House of Representatives, and literally chaos would have ensued. So, Martha, I just people
see, and now he's not denying that he could have done that. He said chaos would have came out. Chaos, really? What do you think the country's in right now? Idiot. What do you think the country's in right now? Idiot.
People can read the indictment, and frankly, I've said before, I had hoped it had not come to this point. You know, I don't know if the government can meet the standard, the burden of proof beyond reasonable doubt for criminal charges. But the American people deserve to know that President Trump and his advisors didn't just ask me to pause. They asked me to reject votes, return votes, essentially to overturn the election, and to keep faith with the oath that I made to the American people and to Almighty God. I reject.
You hear this? To keep the oath that he took, and with Almighty God. Listen to them. This is straight up Judas Pence. This dude.
To overturn the election, and to keep faith with the oath that I made to the American people and to Almighty God. I rejected that out of hand, and I did my duty that day.
You hear that? That dude stabbed the American people in the back. And you know what's really interesting is that now that they're doing this to President Trump is actually going to be able to bring up information that they don't want the American people to know about. Because you'll be surprised, and I talked about this on my LFA broadcast, that there's millions of people that don't know the truth. Millions of people. Millions of people that don't know the truth. And they want to keep it that way. And now they're going to be like, well, wait a minute. We don't want President Trump releasing this information. So how do we stop him? It would not surprise me if they try to put a gag order on him. Right? They probably even try to put a gag order on the lawyers for bringing information up, because this is going to give President Trump subpoena power. They're going to be able to bring forward the information that they don't want you to know about. Think about that. Democrats, they constantly do stuff not thinking about the outcome. They only think about the outcome that they want. They don't think about, well, this will happen and this will happen. They only think about, well, this is what we want. Get rid of Trump. Let's do this, because everything else is failing. Nothing is working. It's almost like Roadrunner again, all over again. Wile E. Coyote. The Democrats are Wile E. Coyote. President Trump is Roadrunner. The Wile E. Coyote kept failing over and over and kept trying, though. Kept failing, though. Knowing good and well, going to fail, but kept trying. The same thing in this case with the Democrats. And when they do this, they're going to fail as well. They're going to fail. It may seem like they're winning, may get this here, may get that there, because they're going to actually convict Trump. You know why they're actually going to convict Trump? Because of this person. Look at this. Because of this person here. This is the judge overseeing President Trump's case in D.C. This demonic woman. The prosecutors brought the prisoners, the political prisoners, and they said that they want to only give them 6 months behind jail. This demonic woman here, she said, nope, I'll take your 6 months and I'll make it 2 years. You understand that? 2 years for political prisoners. When you have Antifa and BLM destroying so much throughout the entire country, and in the New York City, they're paying BLM $10,000 a pop because they were destroying stuff. So apparently, crime does pay. Crime does pay. Listen to this about this. No, bring it back. Listen to this about this demonic woman, because President Trump, he's not going to get a fair trial. He's not. And President Trump already knows this.
I can assure you she will be unfair to the President of the United States. He can kiss his fanny goodbye.
He can kiss. Say that again. I mean, elaborate on that. Kiss his fanny goodbye.
I believe that the President of the United States has been indicted in a district where the jury pool will be uncompromisingly anti-Republican, anti-conservative, anti-Trump, and he has drawn a judge in this Judge Tanya Chutkan, who will not be fair, cannot be fair, has been one of the worst sentencers in all the January 6th cases. The president got a very bad draw today.
Now, do y'all think it was just by chance that they drew her name? Because, you know, the way I understand it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I understand it is that when the cases come up, judges are just kind of like that. It's like put their hand in the hat, just pull out a name, whatever judge gets it. Is that how it works? Right? That's to my understanding. It's just like the luck of the draw. Who's getting it? Who's next? How is it not just convenient that they got this judge? How convenient is that? The same one that gave political prisoners 2 years instead of 6 months, when the prosecutor was only asking for 6 months, but she said, nope, we're going to do 2 years. Do you think that President Trump is going to get a fair trial from someone who just happened to get selected to be the judge for this case? How did that happen? Do you think it was deliberate? Do you think it was deliberate the way she just happened to get selected? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was all in the plan. I'm pretty sure, because there's a reason why they're trying this case in D.C. Because they know all the tyrants are in D.C. They'll give them exactly what they want. They don't want to go anywhere else in the country, because somewhere else in the country, they're going to side with the truth. They're going to side with the Constitution, and they can't have that.
And believe me, under no circumstances can he avoid conviction now in the District of Columbia.
Well, it'll appeal, though, I would assume. I can't imagine. We know how bad these courts are, especially at the lower levels. But I usually trust that they get better through the appeals process. I can't fathom that what I saw today as far as these indictments, I can't fathom this sticks.
Well, you are absolutely right. This is a horrendous indictment. It is a piece of garbage. Yeah. Speaking as a former United States attorney for my district, looking at this piece of paper, this is a disgrace. This is cobbled together. It's a way to get someone. It's not a way to enforce the law. This is a disgraceful indictment. The D.C. Circuit has become very liberal, but I am hopeful that I'm assuming, I guarantee you there's going to be a conviction with this jury pool and this judge. I hope that they scrutinize this conviction the way it should be scrutinized and throw it out. But I'll tell you something. This is a very sad day. We should never, ever be in this position.
Should never, ever be in this position. This is exactly us becoming a banana republic. And that's what I mean. Soon it will be too late. If they don't reverse this, if they don't stop this, where's Kevin McCarthy? Where's Kevin McCarthy? Our country is literally losing the fact that we're a constitutional republic. We're losing that. It's like going away. And you know what? I'm not the only one talking about this. There's many, many others bringing this to surface. And I'm not saying I was the first one, but I was 2 years ago, I was constantly saying that the U.S. Constitution is a document that will be meaningless because those that are in power, they disregard it. And I was saying it for years now. And now I'm hearing more and more people starting to say the same thing. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm the first one to start saying that. But no one else, people were not saying it the way they are now today because they're seeing it. They're physically seeing it. Our country becoming a banana republic. It's absolutely disgusting. Everything President Trump said was true. They're going after President Trump because of what he said being peaceful. And I talked about this last night. They're going after President Trump because he brought to light the corruption that Joe Biden was doing in Ukraine. He brought it to light. He brought it to light during the debates of 2020. He brought it to the surface. He told everybody, look, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. And then every single time President Trump was in a debate, not only is President Trump debating the person that's on stage with him, but he's also debating the people that's hosting the debate, that's narrating it. He's also debating that person too. Listen to this one. This is President Trump in 2020 when he brings up all the corruption that Joe Biden was doing, and now all of it's coming out. No one is denying it. They said President Trump was lying then, but now, of course, the government state media, they do not want to acknowledge that President Trump was telling the truth. They're still trying to cover it up. They're still ignoring the fact that Joe Biden was completely compromised and he sold out America.
And they found absolutely no collusion and nothing wrong. 48 million. I guarantee you, if I spent 1 million on you, Joe, I could find plenty wrong because the kind of things that you.
Did you hear the commentator there? Did you hear the commentator, Shannon? Right when he said to Joe, if I spend 1 million, that I'll find corruption on you. Look at his expression and listen to the commentator. She tries to chime in to try to help Joe. Listen carefully.
On you, Joe, I could find plenty wrong because the kind of things that you've done and the kind of monies that your family has taken. I mean, your brother made money in Iraq, millions of dollars. Your other brother made a fortune, and it's all through you, Joe. And they say you get some of it, and you do live very well. You have houses all over the place. You live very well.
All right, gentlemen, let me just ask some questions about all of this broadly. Vice President Biden, there have been questions about the work your son has done in China and for a Ukrainian energy company when you were vice president. In retrospect, was anything about those relationships inappropriate or unethical?
Nothing was unethical. Here's what the deal.
He literally lied to the American people. He said nothing was unethical. Well, why did Hunter Biden plead not guilty? Because they knew these charges were going to come up. And they wanted the judge to sign off on it and say he won't be convicted for anything. No wrongdoing at all. That didn't happen. Indict Trump.
With regard to Ukraine, we had this whole question about whether or not, because he was on the board, I later learned of Burisma, a company, that somehow I had done something wrong. Yet every single solitary person, when he was going through his impeachment, testifying under oath who worked for him, said, I did my job impeccably. I carried out U.S. policy. Not one single solitary thing was out of line. Not a single thing, number one. Number two, the guy who got in trouble in Ukraine was this guy trying to bribe the Ukrainian government to say something negative about me, which they would not do and did not do because it never, ever, ever happened. My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China. I have not had, the only guy made money from China is this guy. He's the only one.
Listen,
nobody else has made money from China.
Listen to this. Listen to this. Literally lying. And of course, the liberal media looked back at this and like, well, we don't care. We just hate Trump. We don't care. We just hate Trump. This just goes to show that they disregard the truth. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about the facts. They just hate Trump. Get rid of Trump. We don't care. Burn the country down. As long as we don't have Trump.
President Trump, let me ask my question to you.
Could I just one thing?
Very quickly.
His son didn't have a job for a long time, was sadly no longer in the military service. I won't get into that. And he didn't have a job. As soon as he became vice president, Burisma, not the best reputation in the world. I hear they paid him $183,000 a month. Listen to this. $183, and they gave him a $3 million upfront payment.
All right.
And he had no energy.
I'm going to let the vice president respond to that quickly, and then I need to get to a question to you.
No basis for that. Everybody investigated that. No one said anything he did was wrong. And
Really? Now, what do you say, Joe? Joe won't even take any questions about it now. When they start bringing it up, he'll just walk away. Won't even do anything. Just walk away from it like it's never even happened. Let me play this one for you from Ramaswamy. Listen to this one with Ramaswamy because he literally lays it down. We are truly people. You think we are seeing history, and I've been saying this so much here lately. We are seeing history being made. The United States of America, which is a great nation, which was a great nation, where literally you and I, we're seeing it crumble. And a lot of people still say, no, Will, it's not crumbling. It's not crumbling. We can pull through this. We can pull through this. Well, what are you doing to make it pull through? We can pull through this. We're officially a banana republic. When they indicted President Trump this last time, it confirmed that we are a banana republic because they're going after President Trump, their political rival. How come they're not doing this to other people? They're going to, though. It's coming because they're going to go after everyone who does not say the right thing. President Trump didn't say the right thing. They're going after him because they didn't want President Trump telling people the truth. Listen to this.
Vivek Ramaswamy, 2024 GOP presidential candidate. Vivek, your view of this, 45 pages, speedy trial necessary, and it looks like the presidential race for Biden is being run out of the DOJ.
That's exactly right, Laura. Now, I have said this before in each of the other two indictments. I'll say it again. This sets an awful precedent in our country. They're going full banana republic, full third world on this. I think that sets a dangerous precedent. Now, on this specific indictment, Laura, I think there are a couple of really concerning facts. First, they're using an unprecedented legal theory. Alvarez was a case in 2012, still good law, that holds that public officials and candidates for elected office can make false statements, period. So he's by definition using an unprecedented legal theory here. I think the more dangerous part of this is, Laura, it doesn't even relate to Trump. It relates to the legal system. By criminalizing the behavior of 4 co-conspirators, lawyers who were giving good faith legal advice to Trump. The job of a lawyer is to actually provide legal advice. Trump was seeking legal advice. And I think this indictment then pushes the boundary even further on just legal grounds. And a general rule of thumb is if you're going to try to indict a political opponent and a former president in the middle of an election, it better darn well not be based on an unprecedented, untested, flimsy legal theory. That's exactly what we have here, which is dangerous.
That's exactly what we have here. Bring it back again. Bring it back and make it full screen. I want y'all to look at Judas Priest. I'm going to look at Judas Pence. Y'all see Judas Pence? Look how he's looking at Trump. Judas Pence, right there. That dude is a total snake. Is there anybody on here right now supporting Judas Pence? Is there anybody in here? Go ahead. Put that up there. I'm just kind of curious. Is there anybody here supporting Judas Pence? It's just a simple question. I mean, in a democracy, you can support whoever it is you want to support. That's when democracy comes into play. We are not a democracy. We're supposed to be a constitutional republic. But democracy means that you can support whoever it is you want to support. That's what democracy is. We utilize democracy. We are not a democracy. They're wanting us to become a banana republic. See, then that way they can keep the republic in there because we're a constitutional republic. But they say, well, don't complain about it. You still got the republic in it. It's just a banana. This is repulsive. 100%. Okay. We're at the point where we're going to have to flip over. Go ahead, flip it over here. I'm going to need for everybody right now, if you can, please go on over to make it full screen for me. Go on over to rumble.com because there's some stuff that I want to share with you that, of course, I can't share with you here because if I share it with you here, it becomes a major problem. Not for you, but for me. And I'm trying to avoid these major problems that they're constantly giving to me. And yeah, I hope and pray that you understand. Okay. So with that said, I want to say thank you to everybody for being here. I know a few people gave me some blessings. Kathy, Rodney, Sherry, Ann, Susan. God bless you as well, Susan. Anderson, thank you so much. Sherry says, send you a sparkling of magic dust for your money bag. Thank you so much. Is it Cheryl? Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. It may multiply tenfold. May it multiply tenfold. Thank you so much for that blessing. I really do appreciate it. Okay, I didn't see any super chats or anything. So we're gonna flip on over to Rumble for everyone who wants to see what I can't show you here on YouTube and Facebook. Come on over to Rumble. It's free. Just sign up, create your free account. Do it now. Hit the thumbs up while you're there. Okay, everybody. We'll see you over there on Rumble. God bless. All right. For everyone who's going to stay on Facebook, see you tomorrow. And same thing with YouTube. Okay. All right. We're getting ready.